Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to you. I hope you're well, I hope you've had a good week. My name is Nick, and as you can tell by my surroundings, maybe slightly darker surroundings, it's raining today, so we're inside again. I was waiting for maybe a break in the weather, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen, and if I wait too long I won't have time to do the video. So it's a bit more straightforward than normal. Seems to be 1 week on, 1 week off at the moment, the way it's going. So there we go. You can't control the weather unless you have a special weather control system. If you have got a special weather control system, then thank you. I hope you've been enjoyed the videos this week, which I'll come to in a while. But this is a bit of a Friday chat, so we can kick back, take stock of the world's events or some random stories, have a bit of fun and go into the next week. So thank you very much for watching the videos if you have done. Thank you to the members as well for supporting the channel the way you're doing, and everyone really that's watched the videos. Now you might have watched some of them, you might watch all of them, you might watch none of them, but I'll do a quick summary of them, so if you want to go back and check them out, and maybe I'll tell you what my favourites were. You probably got different favourites yourself, but it started, didn't it, last Saturday? We did SAS Assault. Now if you're familiar with, on the Spectrum of course, if you're familiar with games like Siege, which is very, very basic, and the more advanced Orc Attack, comparatively, it's not advanced by today's standards, you'll know the sort of idea. There's an enemy going up the walls of the castle, and it's your job as the single person on top to throw down all manner of stuff, well in this case a big black ball, to knock down the SAS so they can't get to the top. The character at the top looks a bit like E.T. It's very, very basic, so you've got to look at these in the era they were made. Feels very much like a typing game, but it was early 80s, so maybe I let it off. So that was SAS Assault. Much more advanced than that we come to a bit later on the same day. It was Escape from the Planet of the Robot Monsters. Yes, a very long title name. It's port, so it's from the arcades. Isometric, so a little difficult to control, a bit like Night Law, I suppose. You must rescue all the kidnapped workers by the Reptilons on a synthetic planet called Planet X. But basically it involves just shooting around and rescuing as many people as you possibly can. I thought it was quite good fun. A good learning curve on it as a newbie. If you can get hold of the controls, you're going to get at least off level 1, which I did. So that was fairly cool as well. Probably my next 3 games are really fantastic, I think. There's Amiga Bombjack Beer Edition. It's a homebrew by Graham Cowie. Check that one out if you haven't already. The original Bombjack was converted by Elite on the Commodore Amiga back in the day, and it wasn't particularly good. This one is closer to the arcades, although it's got different music and it plays a lot better. You've got more space on the screen and the controls a lot easier. Colourful backgrounds, really a joy to play really. So that is Bombjack Beer Edition. Why is it called Beer Edition? Well, the author did write in the comment section, it's because it's a homebrew, and homebrew you associate with beer, although there's got no beer in the actual game. Every time I mention the word beer, I then fancy a beer. Send me a beer virtually somehow. There we go. And the other game, which a lot of people didn't know existed, on the Atari 2600, another port from the arcades, really well done this one, Track and Field. It involves 6 events. Get the qualifying time, you're over to the next event. So without games like this, you couldn't have the amazing Daley Thompson's Decathlon, High Sports, or any of those that were to follow. So Track and Field, check that one down. It probably was quite expensive on the Atari 2600 back in the day, and a big joystick breaker. And the other game we looked at there, which I'll mention, as I say, I won't mention all of them, but I'll mention a great deal, was Sorcery Island. It's a homebrew. There, a platformer. Good use of colours. It's orange, no not orange, red and magenta. So have a look at that game if you haven't already. Now I've written down 5 games here, but I'm sure I've done 6. Well done, Nick, on your amazing prep work. So what was the other game that we looked at? I don't immediately know off by hand. So we've got Sorcery Island on the Spectrum, Bombjack Beer Edition there. Oh yes, and the other one was very, very easy. How could I forget this one? This game is absolutely awesome. It's F-Zero X on the Nintendo 64. Really, really a cool game. It's in the style of a Wipeout and a lot of those similar sort of games of that sort of ilk. multi-fast polygon racing, published by Nintendo in 1998. Actually, now I mention that, that's probably my favourite game of the week. It's the most advanced one, but it's my favourite one. And then in close behind Bomb Jack Beer Edition, Track and Field and Sorcery Island, slightly behind that. So yeah, really load of good games there, a bit of a mixture. So I always try and mix it up a little bit, so I hope you enjoyed that. Okay, now I often come to a few random stories there that I picked up in the week. You might have picked them up, you might not have done. I prefer to do a walk-in and then intersperse it with clips of nature and stuff, but we can't do that because it's very dark. As you can see, I've got the lights on. It's probably darker than normal, especially in this camera, which struggles to let the light in the lens. But this is an interesting story. It's based in China. Now, social media, I think in China, is going a bit crazy, following these elephants. A pack of 15 elephants have been travelling around for more than a year around southern China. We don't know where they're going. They're just going all around the place as a sort of like gang. So far they've covered over 300 miles and they're still going. A video of the 15 sleeping somewhere went viral in that sort of like area. They've been invading farms, causing havoc. So why isn't anyone putting a stop to them? Well, there's a little bit, I don't know if this is why the elephants have got a little bit braver, but recently in China they've banned all poaching of the ivory, so they're free to go wherever they want. And who's going to stop 15 elephants? I don't know how you would stop 15 elephants. What would you do? Wave a flag or just ask politely to go? I suppose in the cartoons they were scared of mice, weren't they? So you release some mice, they all go sort of like absolutely crazy. But yeah, they've been doing havoc in farms as they look for water and food. They're just going to go round and round forever, I would have thought. But yes, so there you go. Take the restraints away from nature, stop poaching, and then they will slowly reclaim the land. There was a story, I think, as well. They even turned up at a residence home, and one of the residents was so scared of the elephants they hid under their bed. Well, you know, if I was an elephant, that's probably the first place I would check. Yeah, have you caught that story? Are you in China? I don't know if China have YouTube, do they? But if you're from China, comment below. I probably won't. I'll have to run it through the translator, but do so anyway. So there we go. So catch up on that story. Chinese southern China, pack of 15 elephants being followed by the media out there. Now, Bitcoin. It's a cryptocurrency. I get loads of spam emails from various companies doing that. I don't know if you do as well. Most recently I put my CV on, I thought was a legitimate site, and all of a sudden I started getting emails about all sorts of stuff. Presumably this CV site have a second line, which I hate, of selling your data to someone else. Now I thought that was illegal, perhaps it isn't. I clicked on unsubscribe from the ones I got, but I'm still getting them. Even after 48 hours, so you know you can't trust anyone. But that's not the story. Bitcoin. Now, El Salvador become the first country to try and embrace cryptocurrency Bitcoin as a legal tender. Now, two paths are crossing here, because if it's crypto, how can it be a legal tender as well? I don't know how they're going to work it. Apparently it's going to run alongside the currency they're using at the moment, which is the US dollar. It's going to cost quite a bit of money to implement this. I don't know what it's going to do to their economy, because Bitcoin goes up and up and up, and then it's subject to crashes as well. I don't know. I mean, El Salvador have recently asked the World Bank for help to integrate this, probably because it's such a large thing, and the World Bank has rejected it. So I'm going to follow that, because this is a first step. If cryptocurrency is accepted by one country's legal tender and they make it work, then that's how things catch fire, because then another country nearby, they'll also adapt it, then it keeps going and going and going, and then the major countries have to adopt it as legal tender as well, so they can do trade with those countries who only want to get paid in Bitcoin. As Bitcoin got out of hand, I mean, what is a Bitcoin? When it first sort of like started, it was a made-up currency from nowhere. The people that invented it are probably billionaires by now. It's a made-up currency based on nothing. How can you say it's legal tender and then run with it? I'll have a loaf of bread, please. That's 50 Bitcoin. What? If you come here earlier, it would have been 5 Bitcoin. What? If you come here tomorrow, it might be 1 million Bitcoin, then 60 Bitcoin. That's a pricer's nightmare. How are you supposed to price stuff up in Bitcoin? Je ne sais pas, je ne sais pas. It's as crazy as 15 elephants roaming wherever they want in southern China, if you ask me. It wouldn't have escaped you as well. The football's been going on, the European Championships, if you're from this neck of the woods, but there's the Copa in Brazil also. This is followed by people throughout the world, so thank you very much. I know most people, according to the stats, most people, I've almost kicked the light over there, most people are from the UK, and then I think it goes USA, and then it fluctuates. Sometimes it's Germany, sometimes it's Holland is the most. So hello to everyone, no matter where you are in the world. Thank you for watching. But there's a European Championships going at the moment, which has put a bit of a spanner in the works. Maybe I'm worrying a bit too much with the live streaming in the last week. Instead of doing a Tuesday live stream, which would have overlapped the French-Germany game, I did it on the Wednesday, which instead overlapped the Italy-Switzerland game. I don't know what ones are more important. People watching this, they might not be bothered. You might not be bothered about football whatsoever, but I'm worried that if I do a live stream and there's no one there, or just two people there, it might be a little bit awkward. It's been requested that, Nick, can you do some Amiga streams? I'm working on it. Time is always against me, but believe me or not, I'm working. I get so many emails about different systems I should do, different games I should do. Sorry I can't answer them all personally. This is something I really apologise for. I haven't got time to watch videos on other channels and give a critique about it, because I wouldn't be able to keep this channel going. I just don't have the time. No, it's not being particularly cruel, I can't afford to do it. If I did do it, this channel wouldn't exist, or there'd only be about 2 videos a week. So I can't go through loads and loads of videos and all that sort of stuff. I hope you understand those people there. I'll probably still get the request, which is nice in a way. Thank you, but I'm only one person, and I work as well part-time also. Whether I was doing this full-time in the future, we can do it. Figures are gradually increasing. Maybe I can do extra bits here and there. So I'm talking about the football, aren't I, really? England has started off quite well. Well, they've only had one game so far. They beat Croatia 1-0. And they're the team that beat England in the semi-final of the World Cup. Wales are doing quite good. They had a draw and a win, which gives them 4 points in the groups. They look like they're going through. The most exciting game I've watched so far was the Netherlands versus Ukraine, which ended up 3-2. I accurately predicted the result on Twitter, but I didn't put any money on it. Isn't that always the way? Normally my predictions are quite bad. I think on that one I deliberately tried to be crazy with it, and it just so happened that was the result. It's never 3-2, is it? And there we go. So maybe that's the way. Maybe that's the way forward. Keep going up with elaborate results. It's going to go on for about. Is it going on for about another week or 2 weeks? The football. So I try and plan it. Hopefully next Tuesday the stream will be back on the normal day, but we'll read it. And as I say, I want to do an Amiga, I want to do a Mega Drive, but it is finding the time. You might notice I put up quite a lot of content compared to other channels, and I'll give you as much as I possibly can. It's all about finding answers, and also as well is you plan a load of time, and there's a spanner in the works, something goes wrong, or there's a family thing, or something like that, and suddenly you've lost a load of time that you desperately needed. Okay, so I'll come to the shout-outs now. This is for people that on the second tier above, the members. I appreciate all members on all tiers, but if you're on the second tier and above, I can give you a shout out for anything that you're currently doing. Now, sorry if there's any banging on it. I'll try and edit that out, but I'm in the house with someone else, and sometimes they do lots and lots of closing doors really loud. So apologies there. So thank you this time to Arson, RSOHNE 1255. It's going to bang again, is it? No, okay. Thank you as well to Alf Fairweather. Thank you. Una Bronson. Jason Smith. Thank you. Greyhawk 2. Stu Who. Nikki S. Thank you, everyone. Claire Johnson. What Ho Snorkers. Thank you. John Roby. Thank you, everyone, for your support. Really appreciated, and that's making a big difference to me keeping this thing on the road. Ideally, I want my own place where it's quieter. I don't know if I can ever do that for a while. Anyway, thank you, Jeff Searby. Thank you to Steve Norman. Always mention Steve Norton's quite wonderful blog, which I'll put up again, is retroarcadia.blog. It's retroarcadia.blog. This time he has a look at a game on the ZX Spectrum called Merlin, which is a game I haven't covered, so I don't know too much about that. It's a budget game, so I believe it was $1.99, and he also mentions as well about most attractive games. He touches on the large sprite ones from Don Priestley, Trapdoor, Popeye, and a few others in that sort of vein. So have a read of that. It's quite a detailed blog there, quite a lot of information, quite informative, building up a good catalogue of blogs there. So have a read of that, retroarcadia.blog. Thank you. And thank you as well to Lemmy Barnett, Steve Q, thank you Steve, Phil Hill, Rossi Bossy. Now, Rossi Bossy has been working a while now on his game Super Pixel 3D Grand Prix. It's getting better and better. I know I always say this, but it is. Most recently, he's changed the physics to make the car handle better. I think it's given it the car suspension, and I think it's given them bigger wheels as well. And also, there's jumps as well, so the car reacts to the actual track, the undulation of the track, and what speed you're going. I've seen a few clips on Twitter of this, and the cars look really alive now. As before, they just looked like, although it was good, they looked like blocks going around a circuit. Now they look alive. There's a relationship between the track and the circuit, so it's getting really, really good. I sense Rossi's a bit of a perfectionist, but it's really looking excellent. So he's improved the physics, and the alpha testing is coming up. Another round of alpha testing with this new improved games engine. So have a look at Rossi's site, which I put up there. There's a few other games there you might want to look at while you're waiting for Super 3D Pixel Grand Prix to be released, and that's a Nifty Lifty 2 and Re-Enduro. But good work, Rossi. Game's looking really, really professional, and I do the voice work, some of the voice work as well. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Well, yeah, big thanks to Chono Baggy, Jason Holmes and Andrew Gibson. Thank you, fellas. Now, huge thanks to everyone on the upper tier and above there. There's not above the upper tier. Thank you. So big thank you to Colin Hode. Thank you, Colin. Thank you for your Ko-Fi there as well. Martin Rymel. Excellent. Thank you, Martin. Richard Mitter with well, I don't know if you've got any of those jelly beans left, but they've yeah, be careful with the jelly beans. Big thanks to Tom, Graham Bebke, my friend in Australia, who's very, very busy at the moment, I think, so I hope all's well. A big hello to you, Graham, success in everything you do. And also massive thanks to Jules M, who does a lot of vidcaps following the live streams. Very, very busy as well. Julie's got a site, which we'll shout out, called myoldtoybox.weebly.com. Julie's got a number of sites. Jules got a number of sites, so we'll shout out this one for the time being, myoldtoybox.weebly.com. Now, quite often it's been updated with new things, retro, there, nostalgia related, and most recently Jules has added a page to do with building blocks and stickle bricks and that sort of area. There's pending a Lego page which is going to have various catalogues as well. It's when you see those pictures, the catalogues, that's when nostalgia kicks in. So you think, oh, I used to have that and stuff like that. So have a look at myoldtoybox.weebly.com. Well worth a look, and there's lots of links to Jules's other sites as well within that, building out a really good database of everything retro, old toys and so forth. There's board games as well, which you've also shouted out a way back before. So yeah, so thank you for supporting the channel, members. Thank you to the subscribers also. If you're a subscriber and are interested in becoming a member, click on the join button. It wouldn't commit you straight away, so there's a little video there so you make a decision what you want to do here, yay or nay. Always nice and relaxed this. If you can't afford to become a member, that's okay. I won't judge you for it, but as long as you ease in stress, that's always my main thing. If you can support the channel, then fantastic. But don't worry if you can't do. And I always say as well, which is a bit contradictory to what most YouTubers would say, because I don't want to look for a bit of a grab, or some should we say. If you can't afford it, don't do it. I don't want to cause more stress. I want to ease stress. So thank you. There'll be a couple of videos on the channel on Saturday. Members who've got access to the members section will already know what they're going to be in advance, and the new members video will go up on Sunday, probably the morning, letting you know what videos on the following week. So you want to practice before the videos go up, so you can be a bit of a clever clogs and have a bit more knowledge of the game then that's fair enough. The reviews always, most of the time, me on my first or second go, so it might be the case that if you practice a few times, you'll be better than me and be able to give me some tips. So thank you once again, really appreciated. Enjoy your weekend, have a good week, and until next time, take great care of yourself, and a very fond goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, E.
And Jenkin.